Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Good morning, hi. Okay, we're in this natural resources and energy, and it is Tuesday, May 26th. And we are, we're actually gonna start real briefly with S202. Because we just need to like review, it's gonna take like a minute. It's gonna be very short, just so that we can get the business done. We got S202 back from the House and they had, as I understand, one small change, legislative council for this. Good morning, welcome.
Elsie Gaskia from Legislative Council. So you sent to the House S202, you tweaked their tent landlord language on permission regarding the installation of plug-in photovoltaics. You also sent them a change in energy efficiency of appliances language. You added that the appliance efficiency shall also include the final rule on expanded electric stove motors. The House has responded by striking the electric stove motors. They just essentially undid what we sent them.
Just on the electric.
Correct.
Not the.
And then it was ready to play with the state. Great.
It's fine with me.
Yeah, professional.
Okay,
Yes.
so on a stressful, thumbs up if you're okay. Okay, great. So 302 for that. Thank you. Okay, and now.
Take a vote on.
We did.
Okay.
On the floor?
No, in conference committee.
That's the water quality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Water quality.
and
I'm not might have missed it because I was.
But
Oh.
tweaks. Well,
that's true. Tweaks.
Added, didn't we already do it on the floor? You added some people?
no.
No, we haven't done it on the floor yet.
Oh. Okay.
Right. Well, actually, just to review that 223, we just added.
We added a couple of, they added a couple of, three people, we added two more legislators, should make it three plus the one we listed.
Yeah, isn't it 12 people on the committee? Yeah, we did it on the floor already.
No,
That's, not the committee conference board.
Oh.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then, they also added a study as to whether we should develop a certification program, but specialists.
Okay.
So it should.
It's just a report.
So it's from the.
Okay.
No, sir.
They added a report to the study.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We keep putting.
Okay.
So now we're gonna go to 710. We have a couple folks here with us, senators who have some thoughts on amendments. So we're gonna go to you all next. I do want to flag though that we have yet to also talk about 325 and the committee of conference report on that. So save a little bit of time at the end for that. Okay, who of you would like to go first?
Well, do you want Attorney Tchaikovsky to go through the language, or what would you like? As far as on the amendment that I have.
Yeah, I think it would probably make sense for us to start with you.
Okay.
And then just tell us about your thinking about it, and then we can go to legislative council if we have questions. Yes, go ahead.
Senator Ross Nichols, Chair of Senate Agriculture, and so we had this language in our bill before that was very well received by everyone that was at. And it is not an anti-solar bill. It's not an telling farmers what to do bill. It's not anything other than the fact that we do recognize that solar seems to be on about 80% of our agricultural land, our prime ag land, and we just believe that there ought to be a little bit more of a harder look at where we're placing solar. Before I go on prime ag land, is that the best use? We talk about what is best use all the time, and we just believe that there's a lot of places we can put solar. You can put it on rooftop, you can put it in a parking lot, you can put it on land that is not prime ag land. But we're also saying that at the end of the day, if the best case scenario is that you go on prime ag land, then that's just the way that it is. But we just want a harder look at it. Once it's on there, it's never coming off. Prime ag land is the land that we sustain people with. and sustaining industry with. As far as growing crops, and we believe that, that it ought to, keep on growing crops. Since Act 250 has been enacted, which was, primarily put in place to, protect prime ag land, we've lost 59% of prime ag land. And again, solar is on 80%, solar projects are on about 80% of prime ag land. We just believe that there's, abilities to look further, to put prime ag land, but at the end of the day, if the certificate of public good for that, and that's the place to put it, then that's just the way that it is. Again, not trying to tell solar where to be and how to be, but let's just remember a few things. Solar does not have to comply with a 3-acre rule. Solar doesn't have to buy out prime ag land like every other industry does. And when you put in prime ag land, when you put solar on prime ag land, you fence it in. And you want to talk about wildlife corridors and stuff like that, you don't have wildlife feeding on that land anymore. So I just do believe that, that we should just take a harder look before we tie up prime ag land. With an industry that is not lacking about where they can put it, it might cost them a few more cents. But I think when they're getting 21, 22 cents per kilowatt hour, when you can buy it out of the Midwest for 6 cents, that there is some room to be had there to be a little bit more expensive. And it would be different if most of that power was staying in state and we were the benefactor of it, but it's not. So, but I don't want to get it into the debate of being anti-solar. It is not. We just want a harder look at prime ag land before you tie them. That's it. Solar already has a lot of other benefits. That's great, more power to it, but we want to protect prime ag land as much as we can.
Okay, thank you. I have a whole bunch of questions, for you about this. One is, so you mentioned some statistics about, like 80% of prime ag soils have solar on them?
No,
Okay.
solar is on 80% of prime ag land, so solar, all the solar projects, 80% of those are on prime ag land.
80% of solar projects
Are on
on
prime
prime
ag
ag.
Right.
Okay, but do you have a sense of how much prime ag, do you have any sense of like how many acres we're talking?
I don't know that, more than what they say, I didn't get a statistic on that. The thing is that we have a lot of other lands that we could put solar on, it's just probably cost them a little bit more or harder to put on. I get it, you can pull right into a field, just start drilling in posts and put solar up. But you can do that anywhere, it just might cost a little bit more.
So separate question, well, actually, wondering if where that statistic is coming from, about the 80%?
It's coming from government, I can go and probably
Okay.
maybe find it before the floor.
Okay, another question for you, do you have a sense of, I mean, one of the things that you mentioned is that once it's there, you can't take it out.
Right,
That's not my understanding, where are you getting that information?
that comes right from the solar people, right from his group over here. And yeah, it did, Peter. And it's very highly unlikely that once you tie up a piece of land that it reverts back. It hasn't happened yet. And there are some solar fields that have timed out and they just replace the panels and they keep on going.
So, my understanding is that it's relatively easy to take out if you wanted to.
But they don't.
And well, that sort of begs the question as to why they wouldn't, but, and then I have another question about, the full spectrum, a full spectrum, audit. What is that?
They already do it anyways, right? Everybody else that puts on anything on prime ag land or anywhere, anyone else has to do a full audit, everyone. It's just part of the Act 250 process. We're not even asking them to go through Act 250 on this, we're not. We're just asking them. And they do it one time, they can take that information and they can transfer it from piece to piece to piece. And they already have that information, they already know. So we're just asking them to come forward with an audit as far as to the viability of, just like any other project in the state of Vermont has to do. Everybody that does that has to do that.
So.
Isn't there already a process that the PUC goes through for a solar site,
Mhm.
which includes the sort of analysis of the site and the location of it. So how is this?
We wanted,
different
we,
than what
they-
already exists?
they actually don't do it in that form. We want to see the benefits of, maybe there is a better place to put this solar, or they can put it elsewhere. I mean, the argument is that it's better there. Well, show us that. Show us that argument that it's better to be there versus someplace else. Show us that. They don't show us that.
Okay, any other questions? So just as a matter of process, so one of the things that, because the, Senator Ingles did come to me earlier. And we did have a conversation about, because I think you're raising an interesting point about solar siting. And I think there's something more there that I think is worth getting at. I do have another proposal about, asking, public service department to come back with a report on.
You
some
guys
of
can do
the-
that. We're gonna go ahead with this.
Yeah, that's
We're gonna
fine.
go ahead with this.
So I'd love to take a straw, unless there's further questions for Senator Ingles, I'd love to do a straw poll on this amendment and then.
Can we see the language?
It is posted online. But I don't think we have copies.
calendar, get a calendar.
The calendar, yeah, I have.
Well, wait, I'll say that I'm actually interested in study.
Mhm.
And I agree, you're raising an issue here about. My own, figuring out how to get solar on rooftops or parking lots, et cetera, and incentivize it that way, but I think I'd rather think about, but I don't really start thinking about this in the context of the whole, I really think the whole issue instead of.
Yes, yeah, I agree. But I do think it's worth
I'm still with that.
spending time on.
Yeah.
Do you need any more?
No, I was just reading it. Yeah, I mean, I think that I agree with Senator Baumgart's. I think it's worth talking about. I mean, it's been an issue in various parts of the state, including my district, about siting solar on prime ag lands. I'm concerned about this language. An engineering firm approved by DEC and a full spectrum audit. I don't know what that means.
Why would
So-
solar have to do what everybody else has to?
I don't, this is what everybody else has to do.
Yeah, it is.
So I think that having the study back or report back on how we should approach this issue and getting the actual data would be helpful.
Okay. Senator Beck, anything you want to share at this point? No pressure, if you don't. It's fine.
No, I just, yeah. I definitely sympathize with Senator Engel. I think we should not be filling up lands that could be used for other things that they really need, like food and housing.
We also need energy too, so I mean, I think it's sometimes it's a balance about what is the best and highest.
But it is energy at the state of the state.
Okay, so just quick,
I'm sorry, I'm just looking for a cough drop.
oh, okay.
Nice
Chocolate.
That's okay, we can do the straw poll and I can go.
Okay. Quick straw poll on Senator Ingles' amendments, thumbs up, thumbs down, or all in favor
On the amendment,
on his amendments?
I would prefer to see a report back on
So,
what we should do first before we start.
Okay.
requiring the process.
okay, so I've got copies of the report back.
Yeah, let me just run. it.
Yeah, yeah. I've got some Williams not here if you wanna look.
Yeah.
Okay. That did work. That did not work. Okay, and I think I can talk through this. So it's asking the public service department for January 15th of next year to come back with answers to a few questions. Over the past 5 years, how many acres of prime ag soils have been developed for any purpose? So basically, like, how much are we losing? And then what share of development is attributable to solar, for type 2, tier 2, renewable energy standard, projects. Then how many acres of prime ag soils used for solar energy were directly impacted by the project, as opposed to acres, then project disturbance. And then how many acres of prime ag soils developed for solar energy generation were in active ag use before development? And what was that ag use? And then how many acres of prime ag soils were developed for solar? Remain owned by farmers, so they retain the ownership. And then trees cleared for projects by forest type, and then it's submitted to us. So it's not close. So that this was just a first start, looking at some data. So that would be, like I said, as a place to start me. Yes,
So are you gonna just give for amendment or?
what I'm gonna propose is a substitute. To Snre. Well, you know, respecting that, like, this is an important issue. Would love to get more data and would love to actually spend more time with this as a topic next year.
We spent a lot of time on it in our committee, we really did.
Yeah.
And had we been allowed to present it in our bill, we would have had it,
Yeah.
but you chose not to. Alrighty, so
Yeah.
we've been here, so.
So more to come, so to be continued. Any thoughts or comments on this proposal as a potential substitute? Yes. Okay. Any other thoughts, comments?
If,
Okay.
well, if the motion you substitute was successful, then I will support this.
Great.
Same, and just wondering, do we want to add something about recommendations?
I am happy to, if we can get that drafted in so I suspect we may not be taking this up in the morning.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think it's gonna be in the afternoon, so, I'm open to asking for some recommendations, from the public service department, if they had recommendations for, language. Regarding,
additional requirements or something.
yeah.
Kind of getting at what
Mhm,
we're
mhm.
suggesting, but
Mhm.
different.
Yeah, or recommendations to, I would say, encourage solar siting on already impacted lands, parking lots, rooftops, et cetera.
So the question there is how to make it more economically feasible.
Yes, including.
That's a big show. This is pretty easy.
Yeah.
That is hard.
True, but I think that's an important part of making that happen, yeah. How are you doing?
I mean, I don't think I see us legislative council, I'm gonna need you to say it again, I think
Okay.
you said two entirely different things.
Okay, so recommendations from the public service department about how to encourage. Siting of solar on already impacted lands, including rooftops and parking lots. And including potential financial structures that would encourage. That may get to make more economically feasible, that kind of development. Okay, clear enough? Okay, great, so we will take a look at that. Trying to think of like the flow. If we have a moment and can take a look at it between the morning and the afternoon, we'll see if we've got it back in time and we can take a look at it. What's that?
Come down right after.
Yeah, let's come down right after floor. Do you think that's realistic, like 12:31, somewhere in there?
Yes, you're, Sunshine is currently in the first block, I
Say
believe you're gonna have to pass over it, but,
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's possible that all we do this money is not written, but
okay,
so.
Yeah,
okay.
okay, so we'll take a look at it again and then we'll take them struggle. Okay, thank you very much, yes. Yeah, okay, and we're gonna have, the bell's gonna start ringing.
I'm
but-
gonna say this real quick.
Okay,
Senator Huffman, that's town district. After hearing all the controversy, I think this amendment would tie pretty well into it. It's asking you to just push it out 2 years. This is the copy of the amendment and see it.
Push out what?
Before it kicks into effect. So this bill, the 7K.
The whole thing?
The whole thing. I believe if you can get itemize it out, but I prefer to do the whole thing because it just, seeing controversies that we're having, that it gives the community some more time to talk about it.
I think that's not what this says.
No, section 1 and 2, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, sorry.
okay, yeah, all right.
Right, 3 and 4 were fine, so. And striking us.
So can you tell me about the problems that you see with the bill?
Just what we were speaking about here at the table of not having full input from all parties. And I think that in committee, we've heard a lot, but I think we need to hear.
About what?
It's just about the total use of the bill.
No, but what part? Like,
Mainly the ag part, the ag land part.
so this is not really about ag.
This is about solar and making sure that we're doing the right thing with it. That's what it's about.
Yeah, but like, it's not really about ag. The ag is sort of a separate part that Senator Ingles brought in. This is
Right,
about a
but
definite.
Bringing that in, saying, okay, let's take a little bit more time. I don't care if it's just 1 year, but I think that you have enough controversy in this bill, so it's worth pushing it out. You want more years.
So what is the controversy? About single plants? Can you make it specific to the definition of single plant, which is sections 1 and 2?
I cannot.
Okay. So I am not in favor of this.
Thank you.
We've already talked about it. I thought that as a possibility and we decided not to. And the problem with single, I don't think that there's like the definition of single plant that's in here is consensus language. That language is not controversial, but Senator Ingles was bringing up was a wholly different issue. So, okay. And so thumb scale on Senator Heffernan amendments. All in favor? Okay, and yeah, okay, and opposed? Okay,
And I'll bring more in concept 2 and 2.
okay, thank you very much.